Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay. This is March 23rd meeting of the Board of Sewer Commissioners. I'd like to call the meeting to order and have a roll call.
Sandy Slavin.
Peter Dunlop.
And Jim Gibberti. We have minutes for acceptance, beginning with 8/11.
This is the first time I've seen the 8/11 minutes, so I haven't had a chance to review them. They were in the packet. I did not pick up my packet today, but these were not sent to me ahead of time, so I cannot comment on the 8/11 minutes.
Okay, then you're saying you want to put them aside till the next meeting?
Either that or if
Carry 'em
somebody
forward.
else reviewed them, I'm not ready to accept them because I've not reviewed them.
Well, then I've reviewed them, but I will let you do it. We'll go from there.
Did you look
Put
at
them
any of
aside.
them, Cindy?
I did. This
Okay.
is the first time I've seen the 9:15 minutes, so the same thing as 9/11. 8/11, I haven't had a chance to review them. I reviewed the January 26th minutes and asked that something be added. It's not included in the version I see in the packet tonight, so I'm not ready to approve the January 26th minutes.
Go back to September. You okay with September 15th?
This is the first I've seen them in my packet tonight, so I haven't had a chance, like 8/11, I haven't had a chance to review them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I would prefer them sent to me prior to
You want to table
sitting
them
at this meeting. But I will accept the February 16th minutes. They were corrected as requested, so to me, they're ready to go.
Okay. And
So is that a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the February 16th, 2023 minutes.
Second?
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
0. About the February 23rd, Sandy, did you see those?
Just give me a second, I'm seeing if my requests have been included. Again, I haven't seen the adjusted ones until just now, so give me a second.
Yep.
I make a motion, we accept the February 23, 2023 minutes as presented.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I was not given the March 9 minutes to review, so I can't comment on them. But I would like to have, we are still missing 2 sets of minutes that need to be included on the list of outstanding minutes. We don't have one for 3/9. I know it was a workshop, but we took a vote during that meeting, so that vote must be recorded in a set of minutes. That's why I keep asking for the 3/9 minutes. If we didn't take a vote, it was a
Okay, what else,
workshop.
what other minutes?
8:20.
Okay, so there's those 2 sets we're looking for.
Now, my question to you, did you hold a meeting on 8:20? You posted an
I can't
agenda.
tell you that right at the moment.
Well, that's the one that was the workshop down at Swiss Beach.
No, do we post an agenda for that?
You posted an agenda.
Oh,
I don't know
okay,
who
go
showed
ahead.
up. I don't know if a meeting was called.
No, it wasn't. I mean, there was none, we didn't call a meeting.
Because you didn't have a quorum?
I mean, it was Peter and I.
That you didn't have a quorum. So we need to have something in our notes, in our minutes,
Okay,
to
we'll
reflect
do
that, because,
All right, okay, fine. We will.
Was that listed as a meeting?
yes, it was posted as an
Oh,
agenda
that
for
was
a meeting.
That's right, too, that, because in
In
case
case,
other people showed up, that was all.
Okay.
It was just to cover it, because that's the whole deal. Okay. Gotcha.
So I'll come down to the office and sign those 216 and 223 sets of minutes, if they could have a copy ready for me to sign.
What about 3-9?
I just saw it for the first time in my packet. I haven't
Okay.
reviewed them. I already said that.
Read them.
Huh? Read them now? I'm not ready to read them now.
Okay, so we'll bring back 8/11, 9/15, and 3/9, and have the
What about
8/20.
126?
Oh, 126, did I say, didn't say that?
So we're tabling those three
No?
No, the four,
and
those
3-9.
three and 3/9,
Okay.
okay. And you'll get a chance to go over those before the next meeting, right?
Oh, one more set of minutes are missing on 2-9. We're missing the 2-9 minutes. We went into executive session, but we opened the meeting. We took a roll call. We had a vote. So the minutes for 2-9 prior to the executive session need to be completed and approved.
Okay, that was just an open and close.
We voted on something.
You have to go into executive session.
I'm just saying that that is correct, and our minutes need to reflect that. We need minutes to reflect that. Then you'll be getting executive minutes for review and hold until we're ready to release. There really has to be a set of minutes for every set of agenda posted. That's why I'm being sticky on this.
Okay. We passed those two, and the rest will get straightened out finally. Okay, going forward, we have abatements. One for Circuit Ave, 48 Circuit Ave, in the amount of $646. And that's approved by the superintendent as the water has been shut off for a year. Is that correct? I believe that's what I read. Yeah, the water was shut off for a year. So 48 Circuit Ave. Do I have a motion on that?
You want to do them separately, 48 and then 50, or do you want to do whichever? I don't care. I make a motion, we accept the recommendation and we abate 48 Circuit Avenue, the amount of
646.
$646.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And now we've got 50 Circuit Ave, and it's the same reason the water was shut off for a full year. That's approved.
I make a motion, we approve the abatement for 50 Circuit Ave in the amount of $646.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And now we've got one from 760 Main Street. Vacant building. The amount of $6,947.05. From Dave Menard.
Why has that gone on so long, that it got up to be so much?
Well, no, that's their annual fee, that's the school,
Excuse me?
that's the Deacon's school. So they were doing
Oh.
things in there, and so what they've asked, or what they, so they took over the school, and it's been ongoing project for some years, I guess, and so they've been billed and paying the bill. Excuse me? It says, well, it's green, and now it's not green.
Why'd they wait so long to
green.
file for this abatement?
I have no idea. But Dave called me and said, can I apply for abatement? I said, absolutely. and we'd continue charging him 1 EDU because he cannot shut off the water system because of fire suppressant.
Yeah, I see that.
So I said I would reduce to 1 EDU, and I bring to the board that they're requesting an abatement because the building is vacant, it's no longer a school, and no one's using it.
There's nobody in it?
No.
Nobody visiting it, no one flushing a toilet or
Not at-
anything
not
like
at-
that?
Not at this time. There was a lot going on when there's a project in there, but at this time, none of that's going on. I guess that project's been abandoned.
This is effective what date?
Well, he just got the bill, so it'll be effective this billing cycle.
So this is for FY '23, so that's 2 billing cycles?
Yes, it's the last year. He goes back 1 year. There's two billing cycles, absolutely.
Is that what the policy allows? I thought it only allowed for 1 year.
It's it, well,
That's all
two
one
billing
year.
cycles of 1 year.
2 billing cycles is 1 year, Peter.
Oh, 2 billing cycles, I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Wow. How many EDUs was it?
I could do the math, and there's a split between the old fee and new fee, and I don't know. I could
Looks
do the
like it had to
math.
be at least 10.
Well,
Well,
think
yeah,
about all
but-
the bathrooms and toilets
Yeah.
and
Plus
stuff.
classrooms and all that, and plus cafeteria, and so they all have a value for
I'll make a
EDUs.
motion, we abate 76 Main Street for $6,575.55.
Wait, what number?
What,
Oh, it's different, okay.
what's different?
No, I would do,
Why is it different?
What's
no, you're right. The back letter says 6947.05.
yeah, the difference is that we're gonna bill them 1 EDU, and that's the
Yes.
difference between the two figures,
two-
is it not?
Yes, it is. So I think the abatement is for
6,575.55.
yes.
Okay.
The delta is 1 EDU.
Okay, is,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
I don't have that other one.
All right, where else? I'm missing one here.
Yes, the 346 Main Street,
Yes.
they had an abatement previous, and they said that it didn't go on hold, they reapplied. So the top floor is an apartment, that is correct. The water department said that the bottom floor went back on, then back off, and then the meter was pulled. So I'm trying to get some clarity from the water department. So we pulled that one to bring it back to next meeting. Either it's going to be a complete abatement or partial abatement, depending on the report back from the water district.
Okay, so
So we hope
we're
we're
passing
holding
on that one for the
Yes.
time being. That's
So we get clarity.
346. Okay,
So we're tabling that?
yep. Okay, and you have in your packets the policy number changes that we've reviewed. Do you have any questions on that, Sandy?
I just questioning the sequence of numbering. Is there a 3 and a 4? A 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? I mean, I'm looking at the new policy numbers. Is there a policy 2023-3?
Yes, in the policy book. So there's
these
a
are-
policy book, and these are the ones that he pulled out from the selectmen, and they were signed policy numbers. And so we didn't give you the policies that we're not talking about.
So these were the ones we approved a couple meetings ago. We
Correct.
just now have a policy number attached to them.
That is
Right.
correct.
Okay, we've already approved them,
Yep.
correct?
Yes.
So this is just
No, there are no changes, they're the original
this
policies.
is just notification that these numbers, I'm
That's correct.
surprised to have a adopted page then.
I
Is this something we're supposed to sign?
I don't see why you have to, but again, that's not my call, but
Well, I was surprised to see it attached.
Well, she probably just did it, but,
Oh, okay, so
So,
there's
you
nothing
know.
to sign.
right. Okay,
Do you want a motion to accept them?
yeah.
I think we've already, didn't we already?
We'll accept the numbering, that's all.
Oh, okay.
Just accept the numbering. Yeah, I have a motion for that, Peter.
But just as a note, Guy,
yes,
Christina did a terrific job. Thank you very much.
she did, thank you. She did a great job. Thank you.
Make that motion. Make the motion to accept the numbering.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we decided we didn't have to do that.
Not to accept the policy, accept the
Okay.
policies, just the numbering.
Do you want me to list them separately?
No, just what we've got on the sheet.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept this new numbering of the policy numbers.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
Put that to bed. Okay, budget. We have a copy of Guy's budget here. And we had a, what's this I&I line item you have?
The EPA requires that we fund infiltration
Oh,
and
okay.
inflow projects, and so we have, it's required to have a budget line, so we fund it with 75,000 or 100,000, I forget what it was, to satisfy the requirements of the EPA.
And another item we had was,
What,
I should have, I should have put infiltration inflow, I
yeah, I know what it
apologize,
is,
but I
but
just-
I didn't know why we, I forgot we had this discussion before on that particular thing, I'd forgotten. I'm gonna ask that question right now. Medical services, what's that, Guy?
So we send everybody out for drug testing,
That's,
physical testing. We, there's a bunch of things we do before we bring on an employee, and we have to pay for that.
yep,
And then during their employment, if there's drug testing and things of that sort, that has to be paid for out of that budget.
gotcha.
If we have a copay or something, if somebody gets hurt on the job, we take it out of that budget line.
so drug testing's under that?
And plus, we keep a first aid kit refreshed monthly or weekly, depending on the stock. They come in and do that, so it's all under the medical line.
What was the other one you had, Mark, Peter?
I hope you keep your defibrillator charged, other than an airline that didn't. Why is the total expense and grand total different numbers?
I don't know. So grand total expenses, grand total should include the payroll. So if you had the payroll and total expenses, it should be, it should add up to that number. I'm hoping it does. I'm not a good mathematician, but
Yep. So our total capital expenses for our budget in 2024 is all for principal and interest, no equipment.
what do you mean?
Well, you have capital expenses. It's all principal and interest. So there's no budget line item for any capital improvement to the plant on this budget, correct?
What do you mean by capital? We have ongoing O&M costs, which would be pumps and that sort of thing, and so it's under that, so I don't know what you mean by capital.
Look on the first page, please.
I will.
Under expenses, operations and maintenance, 5.4 million. Capital expenses, principal, long-term
No,
interest, principal.
No, take capital expense and just cross it out. We don't do that any longer. So that's one category. It's unfunded. You see, it says zero. We added that into the budget. Betterment, so the next lines include your debt service. So it's the principal, long-term, principal, short-term.
Yeah, okay.
Some of this principal is
So
non
bottom line.
No
we have-
capital.
We have no budget for any capital improvements in 2024.
Not in this budget.
Is there another budget?
No, in this budget, there won't be any capital. In the past, we would buy a generator, put it in here.
Yes, in
We're
the
not doing
past,
that.
I remember
that?
seeing it
And-
in capital planning that this
Yes.
was done, but I'm seeing nothing this year.
Yeah, and I think it was your suggestion, one of the, not this budget, last budget, that we could put it in the budget, we did, and so we did. And so we incorporated the numbers into the budget. Instead of having a capital for a pump for 20,000, we didn't put the capital line unless we put it into the budget under equipment or whatever to make sure we get the ongoing replacements of components as we go along. And this point in time, the capital expenses like the SRF funding would come under debt service because we're borrowing the funds. And so for borrowing funds, it would all be debt service.
Equipment that you've got in here, Guy. Is that just your operational equipment?
Yes, sir, all equipment, just operational equipment,
Okay.
pumps and things, motors and things of that sort that we need to keep the facility running. Like we're getting ready to order a pump and motor for $35,000 for our IR system that internally recycles so it's a
Not a
pump.
sump pump, is it?
No, it's a little bit bigger, but it's an internal recycling pump. It's $35,000. We have three. So we're replacing one this year. We'll probably replace one next year because as they lose their efficiency and we can't maintain the 4 MGD that we need to treat the product, we have to replace the pumps. We try rebuilding them. When that no longer is efficient, then we replace them.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions?
The water bill. We're using $23,000 worth of water.
Let me say this to you, we're already out of water budget this year. Yes, we do. Very expensive. Water's very expensive. I have potable water at pump stations to wash things down. I have a lot of backflow preventers that we flush. We've got, we wash outside wet wells at different pump stations, Oak Street, whatever. We wash those wet wells. That's all potable water because we can't get plant water to it. Throughout the plant,
not?
there's potable water. How can I get potable water, non-potable water to a pump station? Because non-potable water we create in the plant to do some of our stuff, but these pump stations, to clean them up, to wash them down, we have to use water, and the only water we can get is from the town, and so we have to
So
pay for that.
Each one of those pump stations have their own water meter?
Some of them are charged flat fees. If you look, there's little red hydrants. Some charge flat fees, some are, so much per billing cycle, and some are water use. But most of our bigger pump stations all have water meters. Yes, some water
Okay,
meters.
so
some-
this is really an actual showing exactly how much water is used in each pump station. But why can't we use what the plant outputs?
Because I can't plumb it we have 45 pump stations throughout the town. I can't take it from the plant. The plant, we use plant water to
No,
wash
but can't you
things
put
down.
it in a truck
I haven't
and
thought
take
of
it
that.
around as that?
I suppose if I buy a truck of water, I suppose I could get a water truck and go use it and
Or
flush out.
ask the water department if you could borrow one of their pumps for a couple hours a day to do it internally as opposed to using town water. I mean, they take,
Logistically, it'd be difficult. It surely can be
Just-
done.
okay, I'm just looking
can be
at the
done.
costs that
Me
could
too.
be saved.
What would your
Yes.
labor cost be to do that?
Logistically, to do that would probably be tough, but I can look into it.
So each
That's not
one,
a
okay,
freebie.
so each one of the pump station has their own water service to them directly.
Yes,
So that each one of them turns on a tap and out comes the water.
yes. And some have bathrooms, and so we have to have potable water, and, the bigger
Some of
ones
our
have,
pump stations have bathrooms?
absolutely. If the guys go to the bathroom, trees don't work.
I didn't realize we had bathrooms. Do we charge our own E EDU?
No, we don't.
Quiet.
Maybe that's,
We can't afford it.
don't bring it up, because somebody may consider it. I'm sure we get a call that say we should charge ourselves EDUs. But no, we don't. We have bathrooms and things of that sort.
Okay, anything else on the budget?
I'm all set.
So this was presenting to the town meeting.
Yep.
So if you have any issues with it, let me know. But this is
Okay.
what we're submitting. So you okay with me submitting this for the town meeting?
I would say so. I mean, I don't,
Has Mr. Sullivan approved it?
I just got it laid because he approved it, and he's the one that gave me the directing across. I couldn't do
Then it's
anything.
fine. I mean, if
Yeah.
the town administrator
He's
approves it,
yes.
yeah, then I support him.
Okay.
Guy, just for clarification, I think I have the right answer, but your payroll budget, that's based on what you need for people, not necessarily what you personally have
That is
for
correct.
people.
Every
Okay.
position, as you know, we have 5 people.
That's
2
all.
are out today, we had 3 were in class, we have nobody working today, in theory.
Yep.
So yes, but this is what we have for staffing, and we just can't staff to this
This
number.
is what, so if you hire somebody,
I
you've
can
got the
fu- I
money to
can-
do it. You-
If I don't fund it, then I
I
can't
just want
hire
to
them.
make sure.
Okay,
I was just want to make sure I'm on the same page.
thank you. We are.
Okay, Dingo and Dingo. And now you're on stage.
I really have nothing. I got a lot, but nothing, and I don't want to bore you with a lot of the details. We have, I don't know if you remember us talking about replacing the fire system in the plant.
Yep.
The fire department required it. So I will send out an email. The bill came out $3,000 more than we anticipated. So I've got to present that to the board. I'm talking to the town administrator now. We have to do a change order, so I'll get it to the board and say, as you remember, a quick recap is about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, the fire department said that we got to update. We had the old lock and key box, and I'm not a firefighter, so please forgive me. And everything now has to be electronic, and there's a different system, so they replaced everything. And every building now has a touch screen, and they can tell where the fire is when they get into the touch screen. Plus, it goes to the fire station. It's all beyond me, but it's what they required.
Isn't that part of the SCADA system?
No, that's a separate fire
separate
system.
system, okay.
Remember, we used to have
But it's a
Simplex,
similar type
which was
thing,
kind of crazy? Yeah, same thing.
Same
And now the
thing.
new system, they communicate directly with the fire department.
Right.
So now, instead of coming to the plant and going to a box up front in the admin and figuring things out, it's all done with a direct call. It goes right to them, so they know exactly where they're going, so that in theory to save lives or save property, so it gives them a better opportunity to do that. So the whole thing came in $3,000, about $3,500 more than we anticipated. And it was an add-on because they wanted another set of strobes. So we added the strobes. And so when the bill came, it was on there, and so I have to pay it, and so now I've got to backtrack to get that approved, so I'll bring a change order to the board to say, okay, but I wanted to let you know what's going on there and why that's going to come to you. And I think I sent you a basic, again, a proposal from an engineer to do
OCD?
narrows. I think I sent, it's not in here, I sent.
OSD.
Yes,
OSD
and I want you to
engineering.
go over that. It got kind of convoluted and confusing and for us and complicated, and this is the reason why. We are settled on Primus. We agreed to Primus. We put it out to bid. It's a great product. The product, because we have to go back out to bid, I was just going to use the bid put out by Wright Pierce. What happened is Wright Pierce called us and said they found another product that was out of China and that it would be cheaper, and it was comparable to Primus. So I called around to some organizations, and NASCO and things of that sort, and they said they believe it to be a knockoff, and they believe it not to be as good or as equal. So now I have to hire an engineer to vet that. Either I vet it now, or I vet it when the bids come in, because I have to make sure that it is an equal to be able to accept it. And because we have the lowest bid policy in procurement, when you put something out for a bid like this, I'd rather do it previous. So that's included in that. So I want to explain that to you. So as you read it, then I'll have the engineer come in and explain it to you. But this will give you a head start of where we are. And then you can read all this, and you'll have questions for him when he comes in and why we're doing it. But we could no longer use Wright Pierce's because they introduced another company. And so we had to get an independent engineer. He's got to review Primus. We already know, we can review that. Plus, he's got to review this knockoff. I forget.
Any idea what his time frame would be to accomplish this?
We could do it as soon as and I got to get him in here to see you folks, but we can rapidly do it.
Okay, because
I'm under the gun,
this thing is, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
We've been
absolutely.
trying to get this thing done quite a while now, and we've still got another one to do behind it.
Now, I'll put this out there. I could say, okay, everybody tells me it's a non-equal, we can just declare that, but we could be open to a challenge. And that's my fear, because everything's challenged today. That's the way of the world. So I'm just thinking we should do our due diligence and make sure if we're challenged, we can rightfully have an engineer with a certified stamp to say, no, I reviewed this, and I'm saying it's not an equal, or I'm saying it is an equal. And if it is an equal, it benefits us, and if it's not an equal, then we don't need to get involved. It'll save us. So that's what we're doing, and I'll try to fast track it. And when he comes in, we can ask that very question, what he needs for time. So I'll try to get him in the next meeting,
I
the
was gonna say, can we
13th.
get him to the next meeting?
Yes.
Don't these products have to be approved?
Oh, they have ISO ratings and all that good stuff, and that's a good
Like
question.
the EPA doesn't
No.
approve it, or,
No. No, EPA doesn't prove anything. There's ISO ratings, there's organizations, and I forget them all, like NASCO, but ISO is an international organization,
so
and they do standardized
what
testing.
you're really doing is you're vetting the product.
I am.
That's all.
I have to.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we should.
Particularly in this case, it
How do you
definitely
do that?
should.
So you research the company, you research the applications. This product has been exclusively used in China and some European countries. So we got to vet that, and you do that through communication, emails, calls, paperwork, bids, and you just keep getting information, and you read it, and you go to the local organizations, NASCO, and there's some trench list organizations, and we try to say, okay, is it or is it not?
Now, this may be going around, getting at it backwards. We have insurance on that line,
On what line?
on that main line going from the Narrows to the plant, right?
What do you mean by insurance?
We don't have a carrier liability policy on that?
No, on anything. We have an insurance company that insures us, yes, Aunt Maya. So if it's,
Well, wouldn't we want to know whether or not the insurance company is going to accept this product?
we've never submitted to we submit to our insurance company
Just
annually what we have.
My point
but
is
we
that
can
if
ask,
we
yeah.
ask the insurance company, will you accept this project? They'll do the vetting.
Oh, I don't know if they do the vetting on it. I see your point, and
course they
I'll
will.
ask the question. I don't,
Otherwise, they wouldn't insure it.
well, and that, it's easy for them to say, we won't insure it, good luck. And I don't know, I can ask the question. I will certainly ask Patty to ask the question.
But isn't Maya blanket insurance of the town?
It is.
So they're not gonna go into something,
They're not gonna vet anything.
they're not gonna bet anything. They just doing a blanket policy for the
They-
town as a whole.
So if we used an inferior product, the insurance company's still going to pay off?
Maybe, maybe not. They do their vetting. So I think they're asking us to do our due diligence beforehand. I think there's some negligence and things of that
Then
sort.
either
I
way,
don't know.
think we should ask.
I'll definitely ask the question. I mean, if they will do the vetting, the time and money I'm saving, I'd love it.
Well, no, that was my whole
No,
point.
no, I cannot, it doesn't hurt to ask the question. They question it, we do our vessels, our air vessels, our tanks, and we do that on our own, and we hire contractors, and they require us to do that, but they never do any of the work or any of the vetting or anything. They just tell us, you need to do this, you need to do that, to hold the insurance. But I will ask a question specific to a product that may or may not be a knockoff. Would they vet it? Would they accept it or not? I'll ask the question, and worst case,
They say no,
they say no.
no different than.
I can
the
ask,
town.
absolutely, absolutely.
Sounds reasonable.
Not hard to ask.
Can you give us an update on Synagru?
So we got 3 loads this week. Let me just clarify. You got 1 already. We're scheduled for 1 tomorrow and 1 Saturday. Same thing next week. So we're running kind of low. We're doing no septage, no grease, because it's just clean tanks, because we can't create any solids greater than the process itself, and we make solids through the nitrification, denitrification process. So we're trying to limit the impact of the plant until they straighten out. They're still under DEM, guidelines and restrictions, and I think they stopped polluting the waterway. I believe they stopped the solids going in, but they still have some internal problems they're working through. That's Synagro. The whole idea of, people are closing down left and right. Maine's closing the state to outside sludge. Where Casella was bringing some. There's an opportunity to go to Canada. I don't know if we can get involved in that. There's just a lot, and everything that's an option is far away and tremendous trucking costs. So we're just trying to do our very best by maintaining no outside, if you will, solids that could impact us until we get some definitive answers. But it's an ongoing nightmare, and I don't see it getting better.
But that's only going to get worse.
Yes, I believe so.
So are we investigating how we can cut down on the amount that we have to send to the incinerator?
We stopped taking in grease, as I said. We stopped taking in septage. We're taking in any outside solid source. We're not taking it anymore. That adds to it. But anything else,
If we de-water it,
And then if I dewater, I have the same problem because landfills are shut down. Turnkey in New Hampshire shut down. Casella's shut down there
But
too.
if we dewatered it and we were then disposing of it dry, wouldn't we dispose of less?
Absolutely, but we'd have to,
Volume?
but we'd have to have a place to take it. And then what I'm saying to you, there's no place to take it.
Well, we don't have a place to take it whether it's wet or dry.
That is correct.
Okay, fine. But when we do get a place to take it, if it's dry, we're shipping less volume. My question is, are we doing anything to investigate dewatering it here?
We already did. If you remember, we did the experimentation with the screw press. We were going to buy it. But then we found out we couldn't, the landfills are closed, we found out we couldn't take it, so we stopped the process. That's still there. So at any moment, if we want to pull the trigger and say, buy the screw press and start dewatering, we can. But to do it now and have no place to take it didn't make any economic sense at the time. That time may come when there becomes an opportunity to get rid of solids and the landfills start opening up. But with the PFAS crisis, I don't see that happening. There's no more land application. The farmers aren't taking it. The forever chemical is, so that's all I'm saying.
I get the whole point of them not taking it.
Yes.
But when they finally do take it, if we're shipping less volume, aren't we better off?
Absolutely, I said that, but we can't do that until it becomes available. Until then, we'll keep doing liquid, because there's no sense in making an investment when I've got someplace to get it liquid, albeit slow.
Well, that's where I'm having trouble.
Me too.
Why is there no sense in dewatering it? We're reducing our volume.
Then I would have to put it in the backyard, and I can't do that legally. So I have no landfill
Where are
to
you
take it to.
keeping it now?
With liquid, we're keeping it in tanks, and then we
Well,
fill the tanks, and then we just
Do we
truck it
have
out.
insurmountable, ever expanding tanks? Are we gonna rent railroad cars or something?
If the tanks become a problem, then we'll rent frac tanks, temporary storage, so there's an opportunity to keep expanding there. But landfill and solids, because this is.
It doesn't have to be, you could just as easily store it dry as store it wet if you have to.
Where do I store it?
Have to rent something.
It's illegal to store that on property. We used to have a landfill there, and we no longer can. We had to line it and whole 9 yards. I have no permission to store anything of a sludge on the property other than liquid in the tanks that are designed for it. So I can't say, well, I'll do this because I think it's cheaper, and then I'll just stack it out back because, heck, that's the best way to go, and then hope that they say, oh, yeah, we agree.
So
No,
you
I can't do
cannot
that.
store
Sludge on the property.
dry sludge on the property, even in a tank?
No, if I put it, well,
No, even in a tank, the answer is yes or no. Can I store dry sludge in a tank on the property?
absolutely. Now, my question to you is, how do you get it out?
Well, wouldn't there be less volume?
How do you get it out?
How'd you get it in there? You pumped it in.
No sludge, it's cake. How do I get it out? I can't, nothing's
With a
pumped in.
backhoe.
Okay. The tank has to be covered.
I mean, you can pump sand. They have pumps for sand. Concrete people use them.
I'll run it by the engineers, and I'll ask them to contact you, and
Well,
you guys
the
can
point
debate,
is-
because I get what you're saying, Peter, but it's not.
But
gonna-
what I'm getting
not
at is,
economical
we
or-
talked about the centrifuge and the belt.
And the screw press, yes, we did.
Right. But we never did anything.
Because we couldn't get rid of it. The landfills are closing down, so we waited until they open up again to move forward with that project, that's all. So we continue to do what we're doing until we have the opportunity to move the product, because we can't move the product, we didn't think it was wise to do it.
So basically, what you're saying is, right now, we've got a place to dispose of it, not to the volume that we want, but we do have an opportunity to dispose of it. We do not have the opportunity to dispose of sludge,
That is correct.
of
Of 18% or greater, which is
no place
pressed.
to put that.
No place to take it.
So with that, there's no point.
So we're not taking outside sludges,
No
outside product?
septic and no grease.
So Smiths and the rest of them who do septic pumping cannot come to us?
That's correct. Nobody can.
What about Grisella? Is it working?
Nope, we're not doing any grease, nothing.
I thought Grisella burnt the grease and therefore didn't
Did.
dispose of it. Is it still working?
It is, but it brings back a percent of solids, it's in train, I would call it suspended solids, and I don't even want any suspended solids. We're doing nothing to
So
add
we
to,
have no output from Grisella.
nothing. No output from Grisilla, we're taking no septage, no
So-
tipping fees.
Any idea what happens to all the grease from the grease traps for the businesses and,
We're gonna get it.
No,
I'm
we're
sorry, I thought I,
incinerating. he just got through saying, we're getting rid of some of the stuff. We're not getting rid of the volume that we normally get. As a result, he's not taking in the product to create the volume.
I'm trying to
dispose of.
limit my liability.
Right.
The biological process, the simple fact of nitrification, denitrification, creates sludge. That I have to get rid of to keep the biological process going so I can treat the influent from all the businesses, all the homes, all the commercial, all the industries, to treat that and put it to the river. So that's a volume, and I create a volume from that process. That's all I want to do, because I have no place to freely. I was doing 3 trucks a day, now I'm doing 3 trucks a week. So it's limit my ability to take in everything. So it bothers me because we do $1 million a year and that revenue goes away. So yeah, it bothers me, but there's nothing I can do because the avenues that we were using are no longer available. And so we're working on it, the EPA, the DEP, but it's no short-term solution. And landfills, because of the forever PFAS, the liability, they're even up doing water plants because of the liability of you sucking up water from the groundwater that's full of PFAS. They have to treat to a higher quality in the parts per trillion, which is very costly. So the whole forever chemical is rocking the whole industry of water and wastewater and different facets of it. We are now responsible to test for PFAS. And the scary part is they don't even have approved methods to test, but we start testing April 1st. And they have a method we can use, but it's not accurate. And to test for PFAS...
Wait, they have a method, but it's not accurate?
It's not accurate, that's right.
Why are we being asked to test something that's not a valid test?
You asked
authorized marijuana to be sold when they didn't have a way to check it when they're driving a car.
You asked the questions, because I asked EPA, I'll show you in
So
writing.
we have to pay for a test that doesn't work.
Yes, it's not accurate. Well, I'm not saying it doesn't work, it's not as accurate. It doesn't get down to the parts per trillion they're requiring. They're still working on methods to get there, but we have to start that. So it's just the way it is. So we're doing testing, and the scary part is because PFAS is in everything, your clothes, your wrappers, that we have to have special clothes. You got to wash, triple wash, put Tyvek. So the whole process is crazy. So, but there's nothing we can do. This we're told to do. We're going to do our very best to give them what they want. But it's a major issue, major cost, major everything. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But that's what we're doing, and that's why sludge disposal, whether dry, liquid or dry, and the folks that are doing dry are really in trouble. Yarmouth is struggling. The Cape is struggling. They do a lot of dry. So we're all in trouble. It's not just here. And we're all trying to, we put our heads together, we have meetings, people have formed groups, and there's this group, and people are protesting the State House, and we're doing all kinds of things. But we're getting nowhere, and we still have the issue. We're still spending tons of money. The cost of disposal is going out of sight, so it's just the way it is. We have to suck it up and do the very best we can. I can't refuse to pay for it. I can't say I'm not doing it. I don't have that option. So it's kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, you're doing what you can right now.
Trying.
You limit the input,
Trying, it's crazy.
obviously limits the output.
Crazy times, crazy times. So yeah, that's been an issue, so we are doing some sludge. What else? We're wrapping up the project. We're doing the final shakeout of the water pump system, the filters, that's the final shakeout. Littleton Drive has started. We're going to meet Monday to move the force main. That's the first thing we do, is move the force main from Terry Lane Pump Station that comes from Cremeset area off of Cremeset Road is Terry Lane. There's a pump station there for that area. And there's a force main that pumps from there to Swiss Beach at Littleton Drive, that manhole. Then takes it down into the 21-inch main on Swiss Beach Road and shoots it to the Narrows Pump Station. So that force main has to be moved because it runs in the property, it conflicts with the property, they're building the building, so we have to move it, so we're gonna start that process. And I also want an easement. There's never been an easement on that force main, so I'm asking them to apply an easement to the entire force main to give us the right to maintain it.
So that force main goes across the property of Littleton Drive?
Correct.
It isn't all on the street. It
No, it goes through the backwoods and all over.
comes
the
back
Andes.
behind Cremeset, snakes over to Swiss Beach, so you have to move.
At least a portion of it to get it out of the property.
Well, we'll go into the wetlands?
I haven't walked it, and I'll do that Tuesday.
Because the
I can't
wetlands
answer.
are on the boundary of that property.
I won't know until I get there, I can't tell you. If you want to come along, we're meeting Monday at 10 o'clock. So you're welcome to come, and you can help us with the wetland delineation.
It's been defined, so it's on the plans.
Do you have a map? Do you have a plan? Let me look at the plans then. It's on their plans, little too?
Yes.
Okay, I'll look at the plans, because we'll
Yeah.
look at the plans.
Conservation probably won't let you do that.
Conservation's tough in this town, but we do our very best.
I'd say work.
Merciful heavens.
It's crazy.
Couple of other things, Guy. Did you see that House bill and Senate bill proposal for the non-flushables?
The what? The bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done it at the federal level, and they're requiring it. I went to a seminar in Maine, and this is kind of crazy, but what they did in Maine is they would lay out a piece of top, they'd collect all the non-flushables and spread them out, let them dry, and try to identify where they came from. Kind of crazy. And they did a lot of cross-elimination, but some of these products have numbers on them. So what this bill is proposing is to set up a way of identifying, because if you can't identify where they come from, then
I
how
thought
can
the
you?
bill was to put in,
Yeah, it's the way,
change the packaging to say
Right.
do not flush.
They've already done that, and they have refused. The federal government did that.
No, but that's
but
the
that's
new
what the
bill.
bill is, that's
The state.
proposed.
The
That's
state.
right now,
Said
yeah.
that, but I'm-
Put it on the package, do not flush.
Yes. So the federal government did the same thing, and the corporation said, I can tell them that it's non-biodegradable, but I can't tell them to not flush it, because it is flushable. A bowling ball is flushable, right? You can flush anything.
So the
So there's a
question is-
debate. So let's see I'd like to see the bill and then the enforcement of the bill, because the federal government's already had this go-around with
Right now,
the
it's just. in
Procter and
the-
Gamble.
it's in
Yeah, I've seen it. And I followed the Procter.
Mouthing stage.
Yeah, and the Procter and Gamble case to the federal government was interesting.
Yeah, it's in the mouthing stage right now, so.
That's crazy.
What's
It's-
gonna happen from there on, who knows?
You're dealing with corporate America, Jim.
Oh.
That's what you're dealing with.
Uphill and into the wind. Any word on British Landing?
Nothing.
Okay,
I have nothing.
other than what came out.
Yep. Nothing.
And did that War Avenue issue get answered?
Which one?
67 War Avenue, it's HUD.
Yes.
Okay.
That we sent them a 1099. What the bank was saying, they wanted a W-9 from us.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I gave it to John. John took care of it.
Never mind. Unbelievable.
Yeah, they wanted W-9 so we could bill them or something weird, but John took care of it. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any unfinished business? Anybody? New business? Our next meeting is for the 13th, and I believe the meeting following that will probably be postponed because of candidates night taking over this room, I believe. But once I find out for sure, I'll let you know.
Who's taking it over? Who's taking the room?
Candidates night. Because town meeting's coming right up.
It's gonna be up here?
Candidates night, probably, yeah.
Ready? I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting at 7:18.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now,